All right, so I feel like the main question that teachers always get during parent-teacher conference is, why don't I see any homework? So parents are always asking, why isn't homework? Why is he always coming home? And I'm always asking if he has homework, and he always says no. And they always think the kid is lying, but realistically, no, there is no homework. Or usually the only two classes that give homework is language arts and math, and it's usually not like the homework you guys are thinking of for language arts. From what I've been hearing over the years, it's really just your kid reading. And for math is usually like what math is practicing whatever they learned for that week. So at this point in 2025, yes, there's no homework, and honestly, it is kind of pointless. So let me explain. Before the schools even started taking away the importance of homework, my first, I'm going to say 2, 3 years, I realized that it was pointless, but I was still giving it because we had to give homework. But I realized, what am I giving homework for? When I would give homework, I would literally see kids first thing in the morning scrambling together and doing it in the hallway, hurrying up, copying up for somebody in the hallway real quick and giving me the homework. And I would see that all the time, or they'll be in my class sneaking and doing the homework for the next class, or they're just not doing it. So that's when I realized, what am I even giving it for? It really would be maybe 3 or 4 kids that actually do the homework, and everyone else is just copying off of their work. So it was like, really, what's the point? But that was just my experience. Like I said, I still gave it because that's what I was used to. It was a teacher, you give homework, they're supposed to be practicing whatever you learned in the classroom at home so that they can keep that knowledge in their brain. Even though I feel like for science, most of the learning is going to go on in the classroom. But anyway, by the time I got to New York, I want to say my second year in New York, they made the percentage of homework 5%. Your homework is always like a high percentage of your grade. So anywhere between like 15, 20, 25%. But then they made it 5%. And their reasoning was that kids who were passing tests, doing great in class, participating in class, just weren't doing homework. And that was causing them to either fail or get a really low score. And that doesn't really represent their knowledge of the curriculum. So they made it 5%, which pretty much made homework pointless. That means that you can get all hundreds on your test, participate in class, which they took away too. Participation is no longer a grade. Do all your classwork, then you can still get an A without doing any homework at all. So it's kind of just like, why am I even giving it? But anyway, yeah, so that's what happened first. First, they lowered it to a really low percentage so that we can stop chasing kids down for their homework or stop giving kids such a low grade just based on homework when they're supposedly doing so well in the class. Then the pandemic happened. Once the pandemic happened, homework done. Homework was already getting a little low around that time. But once the pandemic happened, homework was done. First of all, when the pandemic happened, we weren't even allowed to fail kids. Like every kid was going to pass no matter what, no matter if they never signed on a day after we said goodbye to them in school, they were going to pass. So we were not allowed to fail kids. So they didn't have to do even classwork or tests or anything, even the state test. Then the next year when we were doing like hybrid, when they were somewhere in school, somewhere out of school, again, they basically told us again, and I don't know if this is all over the state. I don't know if it's all over the country, but I know in New York, again, you could not fail kids because some kids were still home, and the technology issues. I'm not saying that they were wrong for saying that. I'm just saying that's what it was, because it is true. Some kids didn't have internet, some kids didn't have technology, and some kids just their household life, it just was kind of hard to manage school at home. So I got it. I wasn't mad at it at all. I hated it. So we were all together with just the disdain for online work. At that point, like I said, so again, we couldn't even give homework during the pandemic. So we were already getting used to making lesson plans without any homework. Like everything we wanted them to learn, we had to pretty much just try our best to teach it during that time. And pretty much homework became more so, instead of a separate activity, homework became, if you didn't finish it during class, you finish it at home. And that's how it was. And the kids returned back to school. Teachers just got used to not giving homework and just said, forget it. I know I did. I know I said, forget homework. Like, I'm done with homework once the kids came back to school. But then we also had a program called Amplify that really gave homework on certain days. I would give it to them as like an independent activity. If they didn't finish it, then it would be homework. But I never officially gave kids homework once they came back into the building. We were full-time in the building again. But again, like around that time, we were able to fail kids again, which I'm not excited about. I was just saying, like, for 2 years straight, we weren't able to fail kids. We were able to give kids their rightful grade by that point. But like I said, I think teachers just got used to either not giving homework or they seen that it was pointless. So that is the official reason why homework became pointless. But honestly, it really, really became pointless because they can just Google it, especially science. That's why I'm like, I don't even, I even before the pandemic, I stopped giving them like paper homework. And a lot of this paper homework is stuff that I'm finding on the internet. So if I can find it on the internet, they can find it on the internet. So they would find it on the internet and copying the answers, or they would just Google the questions that I asked on the homework. So it just became, like I said, before the pandemic, it became pointless to me. I realized as far as science, it was like, what am I giving them homework for? Also, when we got our program Amplify, which I love Amplify. That's my favorite science curriculum that I ever did. Amplify, the homework they would give was more so their thoughts. So they couldn't really Google any information, or I would know they Googled it because they're asking you your thoughts and you're answering with, a full definition with all these big words that you've never used or don't know, can't explain to me what they mean. It's before AI. Before I said they could just Google they could either find the worksheet that you gave them for homework, or they could just Google the answers. And now they have AI. So now, you remember before when I said that kids had to write their thoughts, now they could still do that and still sound like it's their thoughts because AI can write as a child. So yeah, giving your kids homework is like really pointless. I'm sorry, maybe your kid would do it and your kid would, do it without cheating and you'll sit at the table with them. But for the most part, most kids are on their own and they're going to just Google or use AI to answer the questions. So the only thing I can say for you as a parent, because you're probably saying like, "Oh, what are we supposed to do?" They have everything that we teach is available to you online, and there's apps that you use. There's workbooks. We always had workbooks in my household. There's workbooks you could get at home that you can use. Ask your teachers for websites that they use. It's like because there's different websites for language arts, for science. You already heard me say Brain Pop is one of them, but there's different applications for every subject. So you could also ask your child's teacher what would be a good website for them to practice their skills. But especially science, I'm sure every subject, but I know especially science, everything that we teach in science is on the internet. It's all available. So it's like really just access what we're learning or what we're teaching. And then you can just find videos on YouTube and your own worksheet. Everything that we teach, you can find on the internet. And like I said, there's workbooks and all types of resources that you are available to you. If you are one of those parents that do want to sit down with your child, or you have a child who will really do the homework without cheating. So that's why your child's not getting homework. Homework is no longer a part of the percentage for their grade. When we were giving out homework during this internet stage, they were just Googling answers. Now they have AI that can write the answers however they want the answers written to sound like they're saying it. So yeah, that's why they're not getting homework, because it's literally no point. All those things, just read. Reading is always the answer. Reading is the best way to learn every subject except math, and math has so many apps and websites and games that they could play to help with their math. And use AI yourself. Ask AI what's the best way. I'm just saying, I'm a ChatGPT person myself. Ask AI what is the best way I could teach my kid to learn blah blah, or explain how to do this like you're talking to a 4-year-old or something like that. Like, use AI to your advantage also, not to cheat but to help your kids and help yourself. So but yeah, that's why you're not getting homework. So you can stop asking us at the meetings why. What you can access at the meetings is what are some resources that you can use at home to help your kid, because no, we're not giving them homework. Please stop asking us. And it's like y'all blaming us like we're wrong not giving them homework. It's not 19. Well, some of y'all born in 2000. Whatever. Some of y'all went to school in the 2000s, but it's 2025 now. They don't get homework like that.